Well, hello! We are again cracking the Advent of Code challenge, and we are doing it while we are learning the new programming language NIM. So let's jump straight to the explanation of today's challenge. We are doing camp cleanup. All right, so we get this type of text input this time. These represent tasks that the elves are going to do. So for example, these always come in pairs. So the first elf would do tasks 2 to 4, and the second elf would do task 6 to 8. Represented here as well. I've improved my drawing skills today, I would like to say. All right, so we can see that then what we want to do is we want to sort of like map this input to sort of like a sequence like that. Oh, that's a beautiful arrow. Sort of like that, and then this should become like that. That's what I've deduced so far. And then what we need to check, sort of like some of the elves are apparently doing, sort of they have overlapping assignments. And we would like to know if one like elf in the pair has are overlapping such that one completely contains the other one. So for example, here we can see elf number 1, this one, and elf number 2. So this would do like tasks 2, 3, 4, and this would do 6, 7, 8. So they are not overlapping at all. But then we would have like this later example here. The first elf is only doing task 6, and then the second elf is doing tasks 4, 5, 6. So we can see that the first elf, the tasks of the first elf is fully contained in the tasks of the second elf. So therefore we would like to make things more efficient, and the first elf, in this case this guy here, should probably do something else. So pretty straightforward. First things first, we need to go through these lists, or like these row by row, and then what we should first of all check is sort of like, or like before we even check something, we need to have some magical thing that makes these into sequences. But we already know how to do this in NIM, so this shouldn't be a challenge. But then if we can first check, like, are they of equal length? Because if they are of equal length, then one cannot possibly contain the other one. So that's the first check we're going to do. And then the second check, we're sort of going to look which one is the shorter. And then we're going to check if the shorter one is contained within the larger one. And we can easily do this by just looking at the smallest and the largest one. So here, for example, in this one, the smallest and the largest task in this array is number 6. Is 6 within 4 and 6? Well, yes, it is. And somewhere here it's sort of set so like, yeah, exactly. So 6 equals to 6, but it's still like, it's like contained and equals. So not just strictly larger and bigger. All right, maybe that makes sense. Let's clean this up and let's start coding. Already the input, or the example input here already as an array. So we can do for line in F. This is beginning to be a very familiar thing. And then we would like to parse this. So that means we need import strutils. That's something we've already had basically on, I think on every single text we had strutils. Like maybe like a default, like maybe we could do also like import secutils. Those two seems to be like the ones that we're always going to need anyways on these. When we're iterating stuff, we're handling strings and stuff like that. So now what we wanted to do, we wanted to have like, now we've parsed 2 and 4 for the first elf and 6 and 8 for the second elf on the first row. So now I wanted to do, let's say like let first range is to sec, and then it's the first elf, the first element, and then first, for elf. Like that. So that would be how we would do it. And then we can do second range, which is second elf like that. So there we would have, let's also just like first range, make sure that we have done these correctly. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, all right. These are of course chars, so we have to parse int. So this is a really neat trick in Nim that I googled, or I stumbled upon the other day. So we can do shorter, and then we can do shorter dot low, and this will automatically take the sort of like the first index place. So you can have arrays or sequences that are indexed such that they don't start at 0, they can start at something else, and also you don't know what's the last index. So in Python you would have something like the -1, for example, indicating the last index. So, and here we have also, we can take like longer, longer dot low. We could also take longer dot high to get so, and that is actually wrong. There, that should be the other way around. And then let's have a look, and we get 2. So, and 2 is what we expect with this setup. So, are we confident that this is going to give us the right solution? Maybe you are, maybe not. At least let's give it a try. So again, let's download the txt file and put it in there. As we remember, f.close. That would be like a really nice thing if I would be able to write f.close without any typos on the first try. The day I'm able to do that, that's going to be like a beautiful day. Remember, it's always important to clear your terminal when there's nothing there. That's something I've learned. Okay, and we get 536. We submit, and no, that's not the right answer. The answer is too low. Okay, so back to the drawing board. Since we are too low, one really quick thing to check is that maybe actually they are contained, like if they are equal length, they are considered to be also things which we should count into this. So let's quickly check that. So we can do it just by like commenting these out, and then just indent these correctly. So then this should work. Let's see. So now we get 560. That is more than previously. We submit, and yes, that was exactly the wrong thing. Okay, so the second part seems pretty straightforward. So in this case, we don't want to check if one of the ranges is fully contained within the other one. We just want to check if there's any overlap at all. So this should be pretty straightforward, and if you can remember from yesterday, this is exactly what we did yesterday, more or less. So now we can just do like, I've already commented out the previous one, so we can just do for I in first range, like that, and then if I in second range, then we just want to main score increment that by plus equals 1, and since there might be several overlappings, we don't want to increment this score for each and every one. We just want to increment it for like for that only one time, if that makes sense. So let's see. That gives us 839. Submit, and yes! 1 gold star! Okay, yeah, so this B part was pretty straightforward. What did we learn about the NIM programming language today? So I would definitely say that here in part 1, this low and high type of indexing in an array or in a sequence, that's definitely like the key learning. So I could see like how using this avoids so many places where you miss with indexing. You're indexing over your array or something like that. And especially if you're doing like your own data types where arrays don't start at 0 or something like that, some weird stuff. That's definitely like the main learning today. Otherwise, we've seen a lot of this stuff. We've seen 2sec, we've seen parseInt, we have seen string splitting, initializing sequences. Yeah, pretty much basic stuff. And we have built a habit of closing the file. So that's really nice. This has been fun, and see you tomorrow.